So I wanted to point out that if things, so you created, maybe you created a new product or something like that, or you created a new innovation, right? And you put it out in the market and it didn't work out, right? Like you had this, you thought it was actually going to sort of plan out, pay out the way that you thought it would, and you put it out in the market. And then you get frustrated with it. You're just like down and out. You feel like it doesn't work and it's stupid and all those kind of things. Well, you don't throw it all out, right? Like that is the first start of what you're trying to do is trying to look to see what actually works, right? So you have this sort of portfolio of features. And then if you have this portfolio of features that can actually give you some information, right? Like nothing kind of works out at the beginning. And that's why you have to take a look at the portfolio features and see what people actually like from that portfolio, right? And you see the things that they didn't like. It's very much a sort of journey where you take, say you take about three features, right? So you've got a portfolio of 30 different features on this particular thing, and you don't understand what works and what doesn't work. You kind of have some a mild a bit of feedback where somebody says, you know what, this is kind of interesting. Well, then you take those particular things and you keep working at it, right? You take those three features or four features that people really work liked and keep working at it. Now, there's two difficulties with this, right? So people are not going to tell you at the get go what they actually like. That's why it's important to get data on what they actually resonate with, right? So I like how long somebody has actually stayed with something that gives you some feedback, right? They're sort of puzzled with that thing, just how long they stayed with it, and the number of times that people stayed with something for X amount of time, and you count that, right? The other thing that you can possibly do, or the other thing to be well aware of, is that that there often can be a lot of situations. This is the problem where it doesn't sort of pan out, right? So your audience, the people that you're sort of serving, changes over time. And you have to be aware of that. And so you have to keep putting stuff out there that, even though it doesn't quite work out, you just keep putting that stuff out and you see what happens, right? You might have to repeat with it and keep going until you find something that actually resonates or you find an audience. And what you're trying to do is kind of gather information on multiple audiences, on multiple people to figure out what actually works for what you're doing. And the goal is, and this is why it's so vitally important, is to have that unbelievable determination, persistence, just to keep going at something. Because it is, whatever you create is not going to work out in the first go round. It's not going to work out even at the fifth go round. You have to keep working at it until it actually starts resonating and whittling away and finding it. It's so very much a story of crafting, you know, crafting, maybe it's a comic book or something like that, where you're figuring out the audience as you go and you're figuring out what the audience actually like as you go. And the way that you do that, it's just constant iteration, constant getting that feedback back and forth until it actually starts clicking. And there's no way around it other than continuing to persist at something, to keep going at something, to keep just whittling away until it actually clicks. Um, it's never going to quite work out the way that you think it's going to work out, but you just keep working at it and whittling away and trying to find the thing that clicks. So what ends up happening over the long run, let's say you have a portfolio of those 20 features, then you introduce those three features that you actually find out that people actually like. And then from there, you'll find out that there'll be 20 features within that new thing. And then you whittle away on that until somebody actually likes more features. And you constantly are whittling around the sort of feature set and working with it and playing around with the audience trying to find the right combination towards you start getting product market fit. Um, and it's not going to be at the beginning that this happens, and it might not even be for many years that this sort of clicks, but you never really throw out a idea. You never really kind of just give up on it, but you keep whittling away and trying to find the thing that actually comes together. And you just have to keep playing around, trying it, exploring, and kind of be like that person that is never going to give up on something. And it's not necessarily um, it's not fun, right? Like none of this is kind of a fun experience to go through, but you're learning how it actually clicks. So, to give you a very real suggestion here, right? To actually do this. So let's say you wanted to create a car wash, for example, right? So you go and you create a car wash on a Saturday morning, and that car wash does okay, but not great. So then you look at the feature set. So some people were like, I would have came here if it was better hours. So then you rearrange it so that there's better hours, and you come out the next couple of weeks, and then people are to start to complain, or they start thinking about this, and they're like, wow, you know what? This location is not the best thing. So then you change the location, you find a better location with better hours, and then you start getting more customers. And then from there, these customers start saying, you know what, I really don't like the fact that I'm having customer contact in this way. And so then you rearrange it in such a way that makes it easy for them. And you're constantly iterating and going through this, and it's going to take a long time. And some things, here's the thing, some technologies that are being introduced are just really different, right? So a car wash is pretty like normal, typical, and everybody understands those particular things. So it's pretty easy to do that kind of stuff, like cutting grass, right? Or baking cookies. People understand what those things are. But if it's something that's different to the market and people are a little nervous about that, you have to do this a lot more towards you actually get that product market fit until it actually sort of pans out and it places and it makes sense for a lot of people to use this thing. So my point is, don't give up on yourself. Just keep working at it. You're going to have a lot of rejections, even if you're getting funding, for example, trying to get funding. Your funding pitch or the thing that you're working on is not going to work out the first time you do it. It's just not. And so you sort of get that confidence, you whittle away to get to the point where people are actually paying attention to this, what you're saying, through practice. And you don't get that until you put in 20, 30, 40, 100, 500 times that it actually starts panning out. So that's where it's so important to do this persistence, and so important to just keep it up over and over and over again. You do get better, and your product does get better. It evolves as you do this. It's maybe not as quick as you would like it to be, but it does get better, and you just have to keep whittling away at it until it actually clicks. So keep it up, keep going. I know you got this. Just more time, more effort. Keep working at it. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.